Hello everyone. Can you hear me? I hope so. Can you hear me and see me? Yes, okay. So let's give us a few minutes. Is the sound quality okay? Good. I'm using a different microphone when I'm doing live stream now, so I'm really hoping the quality is better. Let's give us a few minutes until it's 8 o'clock. It's been some busy days these past days. First, the Coinbase going live with XRP, first Coinbase Pro, and like a day or so later, Coinbase, the normal Coinbase, didn't have any effect on the price, and then I'm pretty sure we will talk about that today as well. This excuse me, this SBI delay, whatever it is. Sehr guter Ton, super. So I'm seeing SBI will be something we will be talking about. That's basically the first questions I'm receiving. And by the way, for those already here, I really want to thank you, everyone. I know it sounds a bit harsh, obeying my rules on my live stream. No shouting, no price prediction, no money donations. But I really like the way you behave. I can follow the chat in a quite good way. No, like when I follow others people live stream, like it goes so fast. Everyone asks questions, and literally you have basically, as a, I would see me as a moderator of the live stream, you have basically no clue to follow up on everything. And in my live streams, could be because we're a bit less people than in other live streams, but nevertheless I really appreciate. Warum ich nicht Deutsch spreche, Heiko? Because we have people from all around the world. I remember we had people from Australia, we had people from US, we had people from South Africa. But if you have a problem understanding Heiko, I will do a short summary tomorrow in German, just what we have been talking about, okay? Genau. Schweizerdeutsch wäre auch toll. Bist du aus der Schweiz, Heiko, in dem Fall? We value your dedication. Thank you, Crypto Disco. Actually, it's more that I am really appreciating that everyone bears with me and has trust and faith in what I'm trying to talk about. So, 8 o'clock. Let's get started. I guess most important thing you want me to talk about right now is this SBI thing, and it's for me very confusing. I heard it, I think it was yesterday afternoon, someone told me that on Twitter and on eToro, on the platform where I invest in XRP, everyone is talking there's a delay. And the first guy who told me there will be a delay, I told him basically I don't think so, even not knowing yet the facts. And then I went myself on Twitter and saw a tweet. I think the guy is called Leo something with H, Hasenodus or something, maybe from Greece. He's the guy who is, I think, if I remember properly, maintaining a list of all XRP, at least fiat pairs. I don't know if he maintains other crypto pairs as well. And he put a link to this presentation, which was in English, and there indeed it was written that there was a delay. However, when I looked at that document today again, and I actually made the effort to find the Japanese original version and had it translated in Google Translate, and there, to me, it was basically quite obvious that the delay we're having to expect is just for the leverage mechanism trading. Like when you put a leverage of 2, 5 or 10 times, that's how I understood that presentation. And something which actually supports my reasoning that I do not yet believe that there will be a delay is the fact that a guy in a group, I'm in a WhatsApp group, I'm member of a small WhatsApp group. He has basically contacts to Japan, and he told us, I don't know, about 2 or 3 days ago, that now SBI started opening the order books. So basically they could start entering orders. And maybe you remember, I think in December they started in allowing people to deposit crypto, and basically the same thing happened with Coinbase, right? So once they opened, I think the first, 12 or 24 hours, I don't remember, was just to get the order book filled, and only then the trading engine started. And that's basically what I'm expecting as well from SBI. I hope I covered that sufficient enough. I am still positive SBI, the trading engine starts in March, and actually I'm expecting it to happen in the next few days. James, how is the Eurozone economy doing in general, especially with ECB? Eurozone economy is basically like the rest of the world. There is some troubles right now with the Brexit. How that will develop, we don't know. However, when we are just talking about the payment systems in Eurozone, they launched TIPS last, I think, November. And TIPS is basically based on central bank's money. However, I am 100% confident once Euro leaves the Eurozone, it'll be most likely XRP. And I learned that now we're slowly making the bow back to hopefully the main topic from tonight, ILP. In one of the ILP presentations I have come across, basically it was There was a slide which showed that ILP can connect whole RTGS, real-time gross settlement systems, like TIPS is one, because those systems usually run on a ledger and ILP connects ledgers. So it shouldn't be an issue connecting a whole country. And that's why for me it's not, I think I have told that several times before, it's not so important that each and every bank is on RippleNet. What we need is, at least in the major currencies, X-Rapid customers, but we are in that respect we're quite well settled already. There is in the huge remittance corridors we have X-Rapid partners, and as I hope every one of my followers knows by now, since X-Current version 4, basically RippleNet, as soon as you're a member of RippleNet, even if it's just X-Current, you can use X-Rapid via this multi-hop feature. And in that respect I think we're pretty in a good state. And when we're looking at the next step, ILP, because I'm always I'm still having the opinion that the RippleNet is just to ramp up the ILP infrastructure, same as AOL sorry, and CompuServe did just 2-3 years before the internet basically came to life. At that time, AOL and CompuServe, you could have an account there and you could dial into their systems, and as soon as the World Wide Web was kind of initiated, so to speak, with HTTP protocol, those worlds merged, and there was already a lot of users through these internet service providers like AOL and CompuServe, and in the same way I basically see RippleNet. So I'm still totally bullish. James, regarding the printing money out of thin air, I think the whole monetary system like we know it today will change in the next 15 years. I am pretty sure of that, because many of today's mechanisms actually exist just because money is so slow to move and so costly to move. You always have to hedge when you have a let's say you're a Japanese company and you have a US dollar position in a bank in US. You always have to hedge against to reduce the risk. But once those Nostro accounts are not needed anymore, there's no requirement to hedge these positions anymore. So many of these financial tools, I'd say, I think we will not see anymore. And how that will relate to printing money, I don't know. I mean, today it's basically easy because they really can print money or create artificial figures in a bank. But let's assume we had a country, let's take Switzerland, which would go from fiat to central bank digital currency. In such a system, it'll not be kind of possible anymore to just increase the money size. It'll be much more tightly controlled by the central banks, I'm pretty sure. Self-made hustler, I don't know. I mean, come on. In those, how I don't know, maybe past 6 months, when the price of XRP has been like on the bottom. I mean, basically everyone would agree that the price of XRP was manipulated to be kept down somehow, okay? And we also saw from various angles, basically you write it yourself, fat. Basically they're trying to make investors who have weak hands stupid and sell their stuff, okay? Philip Gregov, regulations, I mentioned that several times already. When it comes towards RippleNet, we may see certain regulation regarding those market makers who will be buying XRP in order for to convert to fiat. That may be a requirement. Also, those rapid customers, I call them RippleNet hubs for the multi-hub feature in RippleNet. There may be some regulation required there on their side. And when we talk about the bigger picture, ILP, there I basically only see a certain regulation requirement required on the side of the ILP connectors, because basically no one will touch XRP anyway in the future when ILP is fully mass adopted. Why? Because you send dollar and the recipient receives euro. How it's done, you basically don't care. That's all done on the infrastructure level, and there I really don't see too much regulation required. Hold on, now I lost. How can we estimate velocity? I'm trying to wait by use retail. English to me, what do you mean by velocity? Velocity of XRP? Can you repeat your question? Self-made hustler, thanks for inviting the guys to hit the like button. Rohit Kumar, thanks. Yes, I usually try to give information. I really quite well did my own due diligence, my own research, because I see this channel more as an educational channel. I actually was contacted after my video about $5,000 per XRP by a new wallet company, Elipal, I guess they're called, and they basically were kind of offering or trying to work together with me, and I declined, and I told them I don't want to make money. However, Rohit, even with me it failed, I think 1 or 2 times in the very beginning, about 10 or 12 months ago when I started doing videos. I think it was April last year, where I once or twice, maybe not in the videos but on Twitter, I kind of reported news which, after doing some more research, turned out to be wrong. Your forecast for March, well, I said that basically I'm still hoping, and my logic concludes SBI will come live in March. Let me read on. Emonti, no, I explained that. I don't think it's OTC until July. I think the leveraged trading engine is being delayed, but not the normal trading engine. Maybe they will release. Where I see value of XRP in 1 to 2 years, way beyond 20,000. Yes, Alex Jefferson. Now you're bringing me into the direction I want to go a little bit more in today's live stream. ILP. Alex is basically telling us that XRP can be used to bridge fiat currencies. However, can you explain how XRP bridge would work between two cryptos? Would XRP need to be a trading pair for each? That's actually a video I made, I think it was this week, maybe Monday, I don't remember. And you're seeing that totally correct, Alex. Basically, XRP's main purpose is to bridge fiat, and that alone will be trillions in the future. Daily, okay? Now when it comes to bridging cryptos, basically there were some guys out there who thought XRP will bridge anything or everything. And this is not quite true. Fiat we know, there it's true. And when we are talking about crypto bridging, it could be another fast asset like XLM. But you're right, and this is the reason why we should have as many crypto XRP pairs as well. Because as soon as someone wants to exchange, I don't know, Bitcoin for Ethereum or something, and there is a base pair for those, then it's faster to do it via the XRP base pair. Because I want to explain that again. Let's assume you wanna change ADA to Tron, Cardano to Tron. Basically you will send Cardano, the connector will sell Cardano or ADA, and will receive something, either fiat or another crypto, a base pair. If it's Bitcoin, that transaction will be really slow until it's confirmed. If it's XRP, it goes pretty fast. Now the second step would be to convert that new bridge, be it fiat or XLM or XRP or maybe something else, into Tron as example. And because XRP is so fast, it will play an important role there as well. However, Evan Schwartz, the guy from Ripple who is taking care of ILP development, he basically confirmed in a question I sent him on Twitter that as long as the exchange itself has the two assets, the two cryptos in an account, also exchange, the connector, when the connector has the two cryptos in an account, then there is no selling and buying required. They will just receive in one account the crypto being sent in, and they will send forward the other crypto. So in that, if that's the case, then there won't be a bridge asset required. I hope that answered your question, Alex. It was a bit more lengthy, but I think that was basically the main topic I wanted to cover tonight in the live stream anyway, so thanks for your question. Heiko, world currency, I don't think so. It has been stated quite clearly by Christine Lagarde that for ESDR or whatever, XRP being part of the SDR, it would need to be publicly or an official accepted currency in a country, and I don't see that happen, really not. I really see XRP as a bridge currency mostly. RB, I have an SBI login, have it for more than a year, but without verification. Everybody can make one, just look. Okay, but RB, with your SBI login, can you basically confirm that you can create sell and buy orders in the exchange now, or did they close that down? Because that would be the logical conclusion, that this would have stopped also. I mean, it doesn't make sense that you can put the sell order and it won't be executed in weeks or months even. $7.9 billion were XRP were purchased in Japan OTC in January only. I have hard reason to believe. Maybe 7.9 billion yen XRP in that respect, but 7.9 billion XRP, that's basically like 70% of what I see the maximum amount of circulating supply, and from me they didn't get anything, and I know many others who are still hodling. So this 7.9 billion XRP cannot be true. M1264, that must be 7.9 billion yen value or worth of XRP. That I could believe. No, Alex Jefferson, you have another interesting question. I've been asked that many times already, I think in other comments on other videos and on Twitter, why OTC couldn't be used by XRapid, because it's too slow. OTC usually, I mean, that's a bit oversimplified. You call the guy and tell him, hey, I need 100,000 XRP, and he kind of gives you a price offer, and you tell him yes, that's okay, and then it tells you, okay, we need 5 days to do it. That's no way how it's gonna work. It'll need to be fast. The only way XRP to be able to work as bridge currency is via the markets, via those connectors and exchanges. And even then, Alex, price would be affected, because from somewhere they need to buy those XRP. Might be that they have 100,000 in their account, but when I come and tell them I need 200,000, then they need to buy the other 100,000 from the markets. They won't get it just like that. They have to buy it somewhere, and they cannot always buy it from Ripple. Ripple basically only sells OTC to basically companies who help liquidity, create liquidity, which is basically market makers and exchanges. Bullwinkle, where did you get this 6,300 trades per second? But yes, it sounds very much like Cobalt, but I don't think that was on public ledger. That must have been the test ledger. RMB, yes and no. There is no private ledger. Actually, there is private ledgers, many. My bank has a private ledger, but there is no private XRP ledger. That's the point. Spiros and DTCC derivatives market, I'm pretty sure XRP will play a role in there. I don't know yet how, but if you follow forgot his name. The guy whom I did an interview with, Darren Moore. If you follow Darren Moore, he has made quite some research on this what's it called, DTCC derivatives market and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that XRP will make a role. It looks like the exchange is okay. So the site is in Japanese, that's why it's a bit complicated to say what's going on. I understand, but never mind. I'm pretty sure the guy in my WhatsApp group, he has really contacts to Japan, and I mean, come on, the purported reason, that's another thing. I thought, man, how stupid can one be to believe that? The purported reason for the delay was denial of service attacks on Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services, whatever infrastructure. Come on, I just googled quickly today, and even Amazon itself gives tips, like to me, if I wanna use their web service, whatever thingy, how I can prevent denial of service attacks. And when it's such a big thing like an exchange, I'm pretty sure this will be taken care of. And I think somewhere I even heard a guy telling me that they have been installing machines in the SBI building itself. So even that basically would point to the fact that this cannot be true, that SBI is using Amazon. I mean, something critical like that running in a public cloud, it's basically a no-go. I cannot believe that. I mean, so stupid no one can be. Garib, XRP technically can be bought and sold in 3 or 4 seconds, but it needs to be liquid. Let's assume you buy XRP. Will you be willing to sell it 4 seconds later with literally zero profit? That's basically what I'm telling those guys who have XRP right now. They want to make a profit. And those guys who are buying the XRP from you, they will want to make a profit as well. So forget about these 3 to 4 seconds. And incidentally, the XRP price calculator, which is actually back up again, I put a link into this video about the $5,000 per XRP I made about 10 days ago. It's up, but under a different URL, and in there, take a look at the metrics they're using. They're using trillions and days. They're not using seconds and whatever 100,000s. It's really interesting the metrics they're using for the figures you should enter. Pay attention to that. So I'm not thinking about seconds, I'm thinking more about days, weeks, months. Self-made hustler, the DTCC, I think I mentioned. I'm not so much into that, but if you follow, there are more. He really has a strong opinion on that this will be connected some way or the other way with XRP. Okay. Veteran UK tribe. Can XRP be pegged to the value of gold? No, that's the whole point of it, that it shouldn't be pegged. If you have followed the discussion around the JP Morgan coin, basically the most prominent tweet from David Schwartz was, as long as something is pegged to something, it won't work as bridge currency, because there will always, or I don't know if that's phrased properly, but there will always be limitations in liquidity when something is packed, and we cannot have a limitation there. That's why I'm so bullish on the XRP price, because it's not packed. Literally, by increasing the price, we have more liquidity. That's something really few people seem to fail to understand. Would you consider doing a live stream with Sam I Am? Jack Salter. No, I wouldn't. First, he totally lost his credibility to me when he was going about this private ledger stuff, and since then he blocked me on Twitter. I mean, even before that, when he was in this riddle stuff, I thought, where the hell do you see turtles walking around? I mean, but when he was talking about these private ledgers and he wouldn't stop, he totally lost credibility. No, I will not do a live stream with Sam I Am. But there was a request from Love for Crypto. However, there I see problem more on my side, that I will understand them properly, because they have a very weird accident in their English. But maybe they will come back and ask me again. So maybe there will be an interview with the guys from Love for Crypto. On Ledger Stat side, where can you check the number of wallets are there? The wallets with station. Is it R and B? Michael, on Ledger Stat side, where can you check the number of wallets? Are there the wallets with destination? Yes, basically. That's an interesting question. R and B, he is asking about the wallets, and he's asking, what about those wallets which need a destination tag? Those wallets with a destination tag are basically one wallet from the account, from the exchange. Okay, you send them the XRP in that wallet from the exchange, and then you put up a sell order, and the control over that account is now with the exchange, because they will basically sell it now. So you give first your XRP to the exchange, put up the sell order, and then they will sell it. But they cannot sell it and send it, because they will need to sign the transaction. That's the reason why we need to use these destination tags, in order for them to be able to track how many XRP in their main wallet is your XRP, so that they can track. It could be that you cancel a sell order and they need to, and then you basically want to retrieve your XRP back into your own private cold wallet. That's the reason. So yes, Ledger Stats shows all wallets, but these destination tags do not count as individual wallets. It's just the wallet address. The tag is just used to differentiate between whom has how much whatever in the wallet. Hold on, now I missed one about regulation. Where are we? Packed, I told about once. Marion Quast, well, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think regulation is the key here. I think it may play an important role for the market makers, but I'm pretty sure that the system could take off already today, even though there is not yet out a clear XRP regulation. So I really don't know why the system didn't take off. Bullwinkle, yes, XRP transactions will scale above and beyond Visa via ILP connectors, via ILP as such, and same as XRP Ledger can open payment channels You can do that with ILP as well. That's what Coil is doing. Basically, the streaming of something is basically kind of a variation of a payment channel. And in such a payment channel, you're basically, there is only a physical limit, bandwidth, latency, how fast those servers work, but there is no like algorithmically limitation as it is with XRP anymore. Kevin Patterson, we didn't see price increase because, I don't know, speculation didn't want the price to increase. I really don't know. I mean, would XRP be a stock like Apple or Google or, I don't know, Facebook stock? We would have made at least 300% profit in the last 12 months by all those good news. I'm pretty sure about that. Fidelity digital assets, that will help speculation on price only. Are you watching? I have covered the SBI stuff already. Please go back to the initial part of the video where, when you put up buy and sell walls, where will the money come from for the buy walls? Yes, RNP, another good question. Buy and sell walls. I mean, sell wall, basically you need a lot of XRP, okay, because you want to sell 1 million XRP at a certain price. You don't need money. However, for the buy wall, you're correct. You need to have a lot of money, dollar or euro, whatever, in order for when someone really wants to sell you that million, that you actually can pay him out. And for that reason, those selected, so those preferred XRapid partners are quite potent partners. Yeah, that was actually also part of the Shane Ellis theory. Kevin Patterson, yes, do so. As long as you have free money, buy more. I wish I had. In 3 weeks I will have way more money, but I'm actually hoping until then I won't need that anymore. RMB, so we have more than RMB, again regarding the wallets, yes, those 1.5 million, that's really just the wallets. I am investing on eToro. eToro has about 10 million customers, I learned today. Those 10 millions are hidden basically behind one XRP wallet. Okay, not all those 10 million will buy XRP, but even if it's just 100,000, you're right in that respect that it's actually more people than 1.5 million. Maybe it's 5 million people who have really XRP. Kevin Patterson, never tell anyone publicly how many XRP or whatever you have. Don't. Just don't. Please. This is really crucial. It can, in the future, it could be quite a high security risk to you and your family. Someone could kidnap your kids and ask money for it. Don't do that, Kevin. And everyone, never ever tell anyone how much XRP you have. It could be life-threatening in the future, really. This is really, really important. Alex Jefferson, who is waiting for what to get under 50%? Can you explain a little bit more on that thought of yours? I didn't quite understand. I understood the figures, but I'm not understanding who waits for what to get under what percentage. Because if you think the system can only start once Ripple has less than 50% in XRP, that will basically mean we would have to wait about 2 years more, because in average they sell below 500 million XRP from Escrow every month. And if they now have 60% and they should go down to 50%, that would mean 10 billion XRP they would need to sell. That would give us another 2 years. Please don't do that to me. No, I really don't think so. Actually, Alex Jefferson, but I think I know where you're going to. I think the point you are trying to get across is that you want to tell me that banks don't want to Ripple to be freaking rich because they have so many XRP. However, a guy whom I totally trust, who has been researching XRP and Ripple for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years already now, he told me last year that they have been testing a multi-signature wallet for the XRP, which is coming out from Escrow. And or hopefully all of you know that RippleNet has a global payment steering group, I think it's called, with about 8 banks or so. And this multi-signature wallet, I don't know, has about, let's say it has 10 possible companies who can sign a transaction. Ripple and those banks, part of that global payment steering group. And a majority of those 10, let's say 6 of those, have to agree how much XRP out of Escrow can be sold to whom and at which price. So it's not just Ripple on its own who can decide who gets XRP from Escrow, but also at which price. And I wouldn't be surprised if, because those banks are basically the main investors as well into Ripple, the company. Maybe even they get a percentage out of that. I mean, this we don't know, because Ripple as such is a private owned company. It's not publicly listed on New York Stock Exchange or so. Connor McElhinney, does the Rothschilds own a big percentage of Ripple company? I have no idea, and I really don't care. There has been rumors going around that the Rothschild are invested in SBI. However, that document floating around, if you look at it, it's basically a fund, and in that fund there is like 0.5% of SBI stock, and that fund is managed, I think, by Edgar or Edwin Rothschild. But if he himself has bought parts of that fund, we don't know. Just because he manages that fund and SBI is listed there doesn't mean that Rothschilds are invested into SBI. He's just managing it. That they're invested in, there's literally no proof. And anyway, I don't think those Rothschilds are too much important anyway for that whole thing. Marieke, if you're not fake, why did they say so? Good question. Well, this regulation stuff, I mean, there has been going on many different opinions on that. It's required, it's not required, and I was kind of, there was times where I believed it's not required, it's required, but in overall I mean it's required, but not in the sense that SEC tells us XRP is not a security. That's not something we're waiting for. We're waiting for other regulation which we will most likely never hear of, because it's just for banks. Whoever is holding the price down, I have no clue. I'm pretty sure it is. Will the real trade... Well, Connor McElhinney, the XRP ledger volume is already today OTC and retail. Only what you see on those volumes reported on those Livecoin market, Livecoin, whatever, world market cap and other coin listing sites, that volume is only retail, because that's volume really bought by traders. But the volume on XRP ledger will always include OTC. RMB, exactly. Escrow is there so that the liquidity will never dry off. I mean, the system is built for not just 5 or 10 years. I think it was built for about 20 years. That may be a reason why we never seen so far the full billion being released per month. Kevin Patterson, I don't know who controls the price. I really don't know. Gary, Hashgraph, I have quickly looked at Hashgraph once, but honestly it didn't, I don't know, it didn't catch me somehow. I mean, it was, just to give you an idea, when I initially started doing my research on crypto in general, I went to a website with all these coins listed, and usually they have a link to the page from the coin where it's explained what it's doing. And literally there was one coin where I stuck, and it was XRP, because I knew it. That's it. That's the use case. And the same thing happened to me with the Shane Ellis theory. I read those comments from Shane Ellis and I knew it immediately. That's it. That's how it's gonna work. And Hashgraph didn't have this that's it moment. So I mean, I'm really all in XRP. No, there hasn't been any clarification from SBI. I'm pretty sure, if I'm right and it's not delayed, the real trading engine, we will see it in the next maximum, I would say maximum Monday, we will see it. Kevin Patterson, again, your question regarding Trump and Q movement. It's the same as with Rothschild. I am literally not interested into those conspiracy theories. There was a guy contacting me on Twitter, I don't know, last September, and he was really into, like, everything is planned. And he sent me a link to a page, I don't know, 200 pages about how to change the power allocation worldwide, and that Trump was just made the president and that he was not really elected, and that there would be like I don't know, when he needs to step back from being president in the middle of January, and he's still president. So I mean, if that theory were true, Trump wouldn't be president anymore now. My opinion is I'm pretty sure there is banks and rich people trying to influence in favor for them, but they have no control. For that, the world is too complicated. One shitstorm on Twitter or on YouTube, and they're done deal. I mean, you cannot control the world. You can try to move it into your direction, but you cannot control it, whatever it is. That's just me. I mean, and this is already going quite political, so let's not discuss about that. Okay, Richard tells that Shane Ellis actually told that JP Morgan were holding XRP price down. Maybe, I don't know. Ralph Raymond, yes, volume take up on XRapid is very low, but even if SBI is not coming along, I'm pretty sure that we will see in the coming weeks at least a small steady increase, at least from those XRapid partners, Mercury FX and whatever. But I didn't tell SBI won't come. I'm still believing it will. Jack Salter, why doesn't OTC trades affect the market price? Actually, it does affect. But because we all know that the price is basically kept down on purpose, we don't see it. But OTC works like that. I call you, you're the XRP seller, I call you and I tell you I need 100,000 XRP. You have 50,000 in your wallet, so you need to go to either Ripple. If you help liquidity on the market with XRP, you may receive the remaining 50,000 from Ripple, from Escrow. If not, then you need to buy the remaining 50,000 from the markets. But you will not do that in 1 minute or 1 day. You will spread it out throughout the week or 2 weeks, maybe, depending on the amount of XRP I want to have from you. And in that, it has an indirect effect. OTC is basically a mechanism to buy something, not to crash the price, as Shane Ellis basically has been reported what will happen with XRP price. But Shane Ellis stated it will happen like that because the price needs to rise. What happened to him, I really don't know. He just deleted his accounts on YouTube and Twitter. No, I don't own Bitcoin. Can you give me a shout out? Shout out to what? Tony Trooper Gaming? Kevin Patterson, I am most likely the most bullish believer in the Shane Ellis theory. That's the only thing I'm waiting for that explosion. I'm not okay. I'm happy when I see a 15 or 20 or 30% price increase, but I will be happy once I see it 30,000% increase or something like that. That's what I'm waiting for. Conor McElhinney, who benefits the most out of XRP if it explodes now? Well, basically the banks, because they can start doing large or high value transactions, and that's where the friction is. I mean, Ripple always tells the small guys using remittance companies they lose money, but it's also the big companies with the high value transactions. If you, I mean, the percentage stays the same. If you pay $1 million and 5% stays with the bank, that's also some amount of money. And I've showed in a video that in tips, basically every 3 or 4 seconds, a 50 million payment goes through. Actually, it was not tips, it was target 2 goes through. So you can imagine the volume of that, and if of that 50 million volume, every time 5% sticks with the banks, that's the guys who makes those payments and who have to pay those fees who will benefit. And by the way, and with that I guess I will close today. I hope I have covered all the questions. Maybe coming back to Shane Ellis, I hope everyone understands that theory that the price will increase quite heavily. One of the main opponents of that theory is Galgitron. Okay, so basically his main argument is arbitrage and slippage. However, I debunked both in a video about the Shane Ellis theory. I think the video is called Shane Ellis Deep Dive. Go and check it on my channel. And just recently it kind of struck me. I mean, this slippage thing will happen even with a slow price increase. It will be just distributed, the loss the companies makes to thousands of banks. However, when the price increases rapidly once, only the first, maybe the second bank who do a high value transaction will make a loss, and according to Ripple will cover this slippage loss. So it's much easier to cover that loss. But the loss in a sum will be the same when we have a slow price increase. So there is literally no logic in distributing the loss to 1,000 banks, as instead of having 2 banks seeing that loss and Ripple covering the loss by having this slippage for the high price increase. Okay, last question from someone. Yes, Petera. So one last question I need to cover. I hope I covered everything. Can you still see me and hear me? My computer broke down. Wish everyone a good day, night. My computer broke down. I'm really sorry. Take care.